10 until how much I want for every single sound that I'm using. And then I'm bussing everything out depending on what kind of the instrument is. So let's say that this is a bass pad. I'm assigning the bass pad here to number 10, and then I'm assigning the number 10 channel to the bass. So, and then deleting it from the master here. So now we have the bass pad going into its own mixer channel, and then it's going to the bass bus, and from the bass bus it's going out to the master. So if we now enable the track here, and it's losing a bit of its sound because we're using a parametric EQ for that, so I'm going to disable it. Right, so just let's lower the volume a bit. So a very important thing to do when you're producing your music is to always lower the volume on all of your new sounds, because if you have everything on maximum volume like this, then it's going to clip, it's going to be too much all of the time. So it's very important to take a look at the volumes in the mixer, and you always want your kick drum to be the loudest point in your track. And what I do most often is to take the kick drum's volume here and lower it to about -6 dB. You can see that in the info panel there. So around -6 dB, and then mix everything underneath that. So let's say that I have this bass pad here, and you can see I have this set on -15, -14, and then I'm going to mix all of the other sounds depending on where I want them to be in the mixing. But still, I want the basic mixing to be done when I produce the music, and this is very simple because I want everything to be organized, and it's going to be a lot simpler to do this in the mixing stage. Sometimes when you go to the mixing stage, you forgot like why you did some sounds, why you created, let's say, why you imported this kind of sample, and then when you go to the mixing stage, you don't know anything about that sample, maybe you get rid of it. Yeah, so it's very important to assign everything to its mixer channel, lower the volume on it, and then move on, you know. So let's close the mixer, and now we have our sounds, we have a kick drum, and we have the bass. So the next sound that we're looking for is a bass sound again, but it's more like a bass synth, more of that than a bass pad that we had here. So let's go to the channel rack again. I'm going to hit up one more Citrus. I'm going to, let's take a look at these different bass sounds that I have here. Let's take a listen to our track. I can hear those little glides that going on in the bass section. But I don't think this sound is the right one to use for this sound, so let's browse around here and see what we have. See what we got. I tweaked the bass a little bit, so it sounds like this now. You can see all of the different settings that I have. I'm also going to post this project file here in this course, so you can just copy this preset if you want to. You can use it as well. Okay, so I'm going to draw out the notes for this bass sound, so let's do this. So previously I recorded the notes, but I'm going to recreate them by hand like this because you can variate the different notes here. For instance, I'm going 1 octave up here, and I'm going 1 octave here up, and I'm also going 1 octave up here as well. So this is why I'm creating the notes by hand here in the piano roll. So as you see, if I click somewhere here in the piano roll in the timeline here, you can see that it's going to play from that moment every time I hit the spacebar. This is very handy because if you're working on just this area, let's say, then it's very easy to just hit the spacebar all of the time here. If you then want to start, let's say, here from the beginning in the piano roll, you can just drag it like this. And you can see this by a ghost arrow here. So that is how you know that is set on that point. Okay, so there we have our bass sound. So let's place it here. You can now see we have our pattern 1 here. So let's first assign this to the mixer. So let's go to the channel rack here, and I want this to be placed at channel 11, and let's lower the volume here a bit. And I also placed an EQ here just to get rid of the high end in the bass sound. So as you can see, I have a parametric EQ2, and I just